I remember the day I opened that dusty old box in the attic, expecting to find my mother's faded letters and my father's pocket watch. Instead, it was empty. Just a hollow space staring back at me like a forgotten promise. How could he do this? I thought, my heart sinking as the reality hit, my memories gone forever. Looking back, our life together started so simply. I was in my early 20s when I met Raj, my husband, at a community event in our small town. He was charming, ambitious, always talking about building a better future for us. We got married soon after, and I moved into his family home, leaving behind my own roots in the countryside. Money was tight at first. We both worked long hours, me as a school teacher, him in sales. But over the years, we built a comfortable life with 2 kids who grew up fast. I always prided myself on keeping the family together, cooking meals from scratch and hosting gatherings. Yet even then, I noticed how Raj valued things, new gadgets, bigger cars, over sentimental stuff. He'd tease me about my old junk, saying we needed space for progress. I laughed it off, but it planted a seed of unease, like a crack in the foundation of our home. The kids, Priya and Amit, were everything to me. Priya, our daughter, was independent, always buried in her books, dreaming of college abroad. Amit, the younger one, was more like his father, practical, focused on career paths that promised good pay. We weren't rich, but we had stability. A modest house with a garden I tended lovingly. I kept my family's heirlooms in the attic, photo albums from my childhood, my brother's old drawings. He'd left for the city years ago, and we lost touch after our parents passed. Raj never understood why I held on to them. "They're just taking up room," he'd say with a shrug. I suppose that foreshadowed what was coming, that quiet divide between cherishing the past and chasing the new. It happened one afternoon last spring. I'd been feeling nostalgic, missing my parents more than usual as their anniversary approached. I climbed the attic stairs, pulled down the ladder, and reached for the box labeled Family Treasures. My hands trembled a bit. Age catching up, I guess. But when I lifted the lid, nothing. No letters, no watch, no photos. Panic rose in my chest. I rummaged through nearby shelves, thinking maybe I'd misplaced it. Then I found a note in Raj's handwriting. Cleared out the clutter. "We need space for the new office setup." Just like that, my past erased. I confronted him that evening in the kitchen, my voice steady but my hands shaking as I chopped vegetables. "Raj, where are my things? The box for my parents?" He looked up from his phone, casual as ever. "Oh, that. I donated it to the thrift store weeks ago. It was gathering dust, love. We're remodeling, remember? Donated?" My heart felt like it cracked open. Those weren't clutter. They were pieces of me, irreplaceable. I didn't yell. I just stared, feeling a deep betrayal settle in. How could the man I trusted dismiss my history so easily? From there, things spiraled quietly, but painfully. First, the loneliness hit harder. I'd sit in the living room, staring at empty walls where I used to imagine hanging those old photos. Meals became silent. Raj would eat quickly, talking about work promotions, while I poked at my food, memories flooding back unbidden. Then came the financial strain. Raj started controlling the budget more tightly, saying we needed to save for Priya's wedding. He'd hand me receipts for his new suits or gadgets, but question my small spends on books or calls to old friends. "We can't afford nostalgia," he'd sigh. One incident stands out: Amit's birthday dinner. We were at the table, candles flickering, when Raj joked about my hoarding habits in front of the kids. "Your mom wanted to keep everything, even junk from her side." Priya laughed politely, but Amit nodded along, saying, "Dad's right, Mom. Move on." It stung like salt in a wound. I excused myself to the kitchen, gripping the counter, tears welling up. Socially, it isolated me too. Friends noticed my quietness at gatherings, asking if everything was okay. I'd smile and say yes, but inside, I felt cornered, my voice shrinking. Another layer built when Raj pushed to sell some land my parents had left me. "It's just sitting there," he argued one night in bed. "We could use the money for investments." I refused, but he kept pressing, even bringing papers home. The pressure mounted, bills piled up from his upgrades, and I dipped into my savings to cover them. Ordinary details haunted me. An empty drawer where letters once lay, a cold cup of tea forgotten on the table during arguments. I wondered if this was my life now, erased bit by bit. Then came the midpoint shift, a phone call that reframed everything. It was a rainy evening. I was alone in the house, sorting through what little I had left of my past, a single faded photo I'd kept in my purse. The phone rang. An unknown number. "Hello?" I said softly. A voice on the other end. "Sis, it's me, VJ, your brother." My breath caught. VJ? We'd lost contact after he moved abroad for work decades ago. He explained he'd been searching for me using old addresses. "I heard about Mom and Dad's passing late," he said, his tone warm. "I want to reconnect." In that moment, the power tilted slightly. I wasn't as alone as I thought. He didn't know about the thrown-away items yet, but his call sparked a quiet hope. I reflect now on how that changed my outlook. VJ's arrival wasn't immediate. We talked on calls first, sharing stories. He was successful, running a business overseas, but humble about it. Slowly, I opened up about Raj's actions, without bitterness, just facts. "He threw away our family memories," I told him one night. VJ paused, then said, "That's not right, sis. But let's think smart." I started planning quietly. No drama. First, I gathered documents. My parents' will, which I'd kept in a safe deposit box Raj didn't know about. It included shares in a small property VJ and I co-owned. Next, I reached out to a trusted lawyer friend from my teaching days, meeting her over tea. "What are my options?" I asked calmly. She advised on protecting assets without confrontation. I updated my bank account, separating some funds subtly. Allies emerged. Priya, sensing my resolve, asked questions and offered support. "Mom, I'm here," she whispered one afternoon. Timing was key. I waited for VJ's visit, coordinating flights discreetly. No shouting matches with Raj, just composed steps, like arranging puzzle pieces. It felt empowering, this quiet strategy, rebuilding my dignity one action at a time. The climax unfolded the day VJ arrived. We met at the airport. He hugged me tight, his eyes misty. "I've missed you," he said. That evening, we gathered at home, Raj, the kids, and us. Over dinner, VJ casually mentioned the family property. "Sis and I own it together," he explained, pulling out papers. Raj's face paled. He'd assumed it was all mine to sell. Then VJ turned to me. "And about those memories, I've brought copies. Photos from my side, letters I saved." He handed me a box, filled with duplicates our parents had sent him. It wasn't vengeful, just a gentle correction. Raj stammered apologies, realizing his overreach. The kids watched, eyes wide, as the truth landed softly, but firmly. In the aftermath, boundaries were set. Raj and I talked honestly, no more dismissing my past. He helped reorganize the attic, making space for the new box. We attended counseling, rebuilding trust. VJ stayed for weeks, strengthening family ties. I even shared a small act of grace, gifting Raj one of Dad's old books he'd admired. Life settled into a calmer rhythm, with mutual respect. Looking back, I realized that holding on to memories isn't about the past. It's about honoring who we are today. If this emotional story touched you, like and subscribe for more real-life family dramas. Share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear them.